Shalom Akim, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem. Crash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Grim Stone well, and to the Akim and Akwath, throughout the four corners of the earth, hoping and praying in the name of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. Keep them safe in this last days and times. To you I say Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Yeah, man, this bitter episode of conflict in Babylon is a reality that we need to be aware of, man. All right, and these Edomites, man, they already know that it's gonna get ugly. All right, and they're preparing. They're already preparing decades ahead of time, and they're buying up on ammo, and building their bunkers, stocking up on goods and all that stuff, trimming the fat. And now they're beginning to see that the man that was standing at the corner of the streets with the scriptures, preaching the gospel, 100% correct. The man of the Lord. All right, the man of the Lord, Bashim al Kodash. All right, the words of the Holy Scriptures are coming to pass. So they're nervous, man. And now they're even more worried about these jab mandates, encroaching on their lives. All right, they're worried about losing their homes. All right, losing their jobs, losing their children. All right, and they're beginning to see that the jabs are not as effective as this big farmer and their stooges like to claim in the media, and they see that now that the so-called school board, the so-called superintendent, the so-called governors, and the whatever board of supervisors or whatever they want to call themselves are all in on the shenanigans, and the school board too, So they're upset, man. So by the by this move to get these children jabbed up is just gonna create a dangerous vibe. It's gonna create a very dangerous vibe that a lot of these parents are gonna snap. All right, and that's one thing about parenting, man. It's not an easy responsibility, you know. So the days of giving birth to your children, folks rejoicing and all that stuff, those are memories that people don't want to, take for granted, and they're willing to defend their household, their children, tooth and nail. All right, so it's gonna cause a lot of chaos in society. The economic decline is not gonna be something for them to take lightly. All right. So the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17 says, "Woe is me, woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days?" All right, we already know the answer. The Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. We have his angels keep our faith firm. All right, our faith shall be firm. In these days of oppression, these days of violent uprisings, the days of dangerous attacks against people that trust in the Lord. The Israelites. All right. Verse 18 now says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evil shall come. All right, and it's gonna be terrible. You can always feel it. So this clip is just from last year, before the election. So these people have been, how you say it, man, their worst fears have come true. That the tyrannical power of these elites is showing its horn at a rapid pace. And these people are getting upset. They're looking at the price of gasoline, the price of food. They're looking at the damage that the jab is causing to a lot of people's lives. They're looking at the elites dividing the people, introducing this critical race theory into the school system so they could manipulate the people. So they're seeing it clearly now. They're seeing that the so-called FBI is a front for the elites. They're seeing that the superintendent and the school board are also the part of the whole fabric of tyranny. All right, so it's gonna get ugly. That's without a shadow of a doubt. All right, and they're gonna go against each other. It's part of prophecy that the Lord Shai let us know that Satan divided against himself, his kingdom shall fall. Without further ado, play this clip.
We have oatmeal for breakfast.
Leanne doesn't want us to give her last name for fear someone on the internet will track her down and raid her.
This probably would sustain us for 6 months.
She's a bathroom designer by trade, a grandmother, and a Biden supporter, one of millions of Americans getting ready.
So we have respirators, we have suits for chemicals.
For anything.
You actually got stuff here for chemical weapons attack.
In case.
What you won't show us on camera is an extraordinary array of guns.
We have an arsenal of guns and ammunition for protection.
And she's not just by herself.
Ammunition for protection. Arsenal of guns and ammunition for protection.
Yeah, man. So it's not just her. It's got to be the whole neighborhood.
Of guns.
We have an arsenal of guns and ammunition for protection.
Leanne believes America is already in a low-level civil war, which the coming election is unlikely to ease.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen.
The uncertainty. Not knowing what's going to happen. Not knowing what people are capable of.
Faith and trust in the American voting system has never been so low. The American president has been telling his supporters for months that the whole thing has been rigged, and both sides have been constructing legal teams ready to contest the outcome here in the US Supreme Court. Down at the local shooting range, Terry Monroe is training up his 12-year-old son.
Just to give him familiarization with what a gun is, a real gun, versus something that you see off of video games, which he plays a lot of.
Yeah, so what do you expect is going to happen, man? You're going to have a whole line of teenagers, man, that know how to use suppressors and crossbow arrows, that know how to use all types of weapons, waiting for any sudden movement. So what do you think is going to happen? When some meathead with a gun and a badge tries to go into a neighborhood without the invitation of the people, trying to enforce the agenda of the elites, it's not going to end well for them. So all those, tactics of these government agencies labeling people as domestic terrorists, are they going to label these teenagers protecting their families as domestic terrorists? And these are just Edomite kids too, so you can imagine what Drake is doing too. They're getting ready. These Drakes you see on the street are not dumb. They understand what's going on. They pick up here and there. So it's only a matter of time, man, that when our people begin to wake up, then they understand that The prophets were on point. The prophets were right.
Have you ever seen America in the mood that it's in at the moment?
Never.
20-year-old Sam Huff just wants people to relax.
Just hug it out and just chill, like.
But for the first time in his life, he is also taking shooting lessons. Shooter Bill Ivory says he fears mayhem when, as he has no doubt will happen, Trump wins.
I just think the liberal left will become unhinged. I look for Antifa and all of those folks just to break loose, especially if it's a really humiliating, overwhelming trouncing that Biden takes.
There are many here who do not believe the polls. Hugh Remington for 10 News First, Stafford, Virginia.
Yeah, so what do you think they're gonna do? They're getting ready, man. You know, they don't want to fall victim to this tyrannical madness. And they're seeing that these are police officers not on the right footing to hold on to their job once they're being pressured by these elites, by these elites peons to take the jab. So you can imagine that vacuum, that is going to cause a chain reaction of disaster. That's the reason why the Lord is putting that vibration of these people to be in a prepper mindset. All right. So the Lord, the Mashiach Yahushua, will get our people out of Babylon, man. That's why we call upon the Lord to deliver us, man. Because we need help from above. All right. So let me get a quick precept. So this is from the book of Psalms, chapter 44, verse 6. It says, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us." All right? And that's the prayer of King David, acknowledging the Lord for providing safety, and protection. That's exactly what we're looking for in these last days. So we'll just get one of our favorite precepts, man. I don't want to ramble on too long. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right? So our people, man, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, were in the crosshairs of these Edomite elites, man. And they want to exterminate our people, man. This job agenda and all these bad policies, unrighteous policies they've been aiming at us all these centuries. It's all because they want to, eradicate us from off the face of the earth. They want to get rid of the name of Israel, all right? So they're not going to succeed. They're going to have to fight that fight, against their own people, against the heathen, and the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua will interrupt that progress of the thing they're trying to make. So that was the point that I came, these Edomites know what's going on. Even the other nations know what's going on. All right, they're trying to overthrow Esau's madness, and they won't be able to do so. It's only through the will of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua that these elites of Edom will be defeated. All right, so all these guns, ammos, and food supplies and PPE, it's not gonna get these people anywhere, man, because of the destruction that's coming upon the face of the earth. There is no amount of PPE, food, and hideouts that can protect these people, man. That radiation is gonna, it's gonna be upon the earth, man. And it's gonna take divine intervention for the Lord, to shut down that damage that is causing. All right. So, our brothers, we're gonna be out of here very soon. All right. Shalom.